All right, question of the day. What is your favorite path following game? So a game in which the whole mechanic is to make a path that connects with laying down tiles or laying down cards or laying down tokens. Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below what your favorite path laying or path following game is. Because today we're taking a look at Savernake. I think that's how you say it. Forest. This is a game in which you were traversing the forest looking for cute animals. That's it, pretty much. You're just on an adventure. Not really. More of an afternoon walk in the Savernake or Savernake. I don't know. Somebody help me out with this. I'm not British, so I don't know. Right? I think it's in New South. No, it's in Wales. I don't know where it is actually. I think it's in the UK. I know that it's over there in the island somewhere. But this is a game about a beautiful forest, and you're laying down paths and seeing animals and watching those animals go gather food. And the more they gather food, the more points you get. So let's take a look at this game. We'll come back up, talk final thoughts right now. So here we are in Savernake Forest. Basically, this is a game in which you're going to be choosing cards from these 4 different spaces, and which card you choose depends on which benefit you get. Case in point, if you're the rooster, if you pick this one, you'll get to go first next round when picking. If you go here, you'll gain water, which increases the amount of points that certain things are worth on your board. If you go here, you increase an animal's food production, and if you go here, you can get an animal. But what are you doing? Well, you are taking these cards and you're making a path, a grid if you were. It's got to be 4 by 4. Dead ends don't matter. It's okay if dead ends are there. And ideally, you're trying to get the points for these animals to be the best. So for instance, let's look at this bird here. It actually tells you exactly what kind of bird this is. This is a magpie. Magpie can hold 5 food, which means that it's going to score 5 food, but it only scores for eggs. So these are worth nothing unless you can bump it up with the water. But the eggs score 1 point. So let's say I have this right here. So now I've got 5 available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes in that order. Now, if you were to have taken a armadillo, you can add rocks, which would make this increase to a 6. But we're kind of back at an edge here. So let's say we go this way. And let's just say this is right over here. So now we collect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would definitely take this card and put it here, and then I would take, and that'll let me pick the rooster, and then my next turn, just out of sheer because, I would probably take this, bump that, so we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's worth 1, 2, 3, 4 points for that magpie. Now, you can only ever have one animal on a path at a time, so you couldn't be like running these back and forth towards each other. The game will finish when you reach 16 cards. You'll count points. The person with the most points wins the game. Again, water makes those points worth more. Yeah, the goat gives you water. And when you take a card from a goat, you also take a water drop and place it on the corner of one of your animal cards next to one of the 4 food items. This token increases the food value for that animal by 1. So you can either increase this to 2, or you can make this actually worth 1. So that's how you play Savernake Forest. It's actually really simple, but it's got a lot of great little strategy involved there. So that's it. That's Savernake Forest, and basically it is a cute game. Now, I'm on the record for many years now saying how much I detest cutesy pie, as I call it, art. I just don't like it. However, in this game it works. Something about the animals looks great. They almost have that look of the Chip and Dale Life in the Park new Disney shows, which normally, again, I don't like because I like the old Disney art better, but this seems to have that cutesy art that just looks good in this game, and for some reason it works for me. I actually really like it in this game. So art, it looks good. Art direction's pretty simple. There aren't a lot of symbols to follow. The cards themselves, the animals themselves show you which one gives them points, and you can bump that up by taking the water droplets to add to those to make it where maybe they collect worms now as well, and those worms give you a point instead of 0. But this is, in fact, a cute game. So how does it play? Well, it's pretty simple. Like, the idea of taking a card and adding it to your grid is pretty easy to follow, but it's also kind of thinky. You have to think, wait a minute, do I want to sacrifice a better tile so that I can get the armadillo hut, or do I want to sacrifice a better tile so I can get a water droplet, or do I want to go first next turn so I'm guaranteed to get an animal? Or do I want to take the animal that's there and hope that I can put it in there, even if it's a short path? Do I want to extend this path out to where I know that I can make this animal now take 5? Like, there's actually a lot more choices than at first blush. What I like about it, it's a simple, fast game that 2 people, especially, but 2, 3, 4 people can play and really enjoy just the quickness of, okay, let me have this card, let me have this card, let me have this card. Let me extend my grid, and I'm building my grid, and the only interaction is, man, you took the card I wanted, which is not the worst thing in the world, because again, there aren't really any terrible decisions, because any card that you don't like, even if it's a bad path, you can make work elsewhere in your path. So it's a cute game, it's a fun game. It's a great game for playing with, kids, because the understanding is there of, this is what you're doing. You're collecting, and they can only collect this many spaces out. So it's actually got a great wide range of enjoyment age for this. I think this would be a great game night in between games. In between games game. You just finished Ankh and you're about to play something else. It's like, let's do something quick. This one's a good one to throw out there. So if you like tile laying, if you like path extending, then Savernake Forest is definitely one for you. Now, if you don't like tile laying or tile placement or following a path, then absolutely skippable. But cute game, great art, really kind of fun to play, just the way it just quickly rolls and you're thinking through your turns. So little thinky, very cute, fun game. So that's Savernake Forest. I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Bryan. Until next time, we'll see you.